Hello and welcome to the second game of the University of Michigan softball team's doubleheader here at USF Softball Stadium in Tampa, Florida. We're going to get right into it. The Wolverines taking on the Illinois State Redbirds. Kind of a hurried transition between games, but in the circle for Illinois State is Shannon Feldy. She will be facing off with Natalie Peters, who went 3 for 4 in yesterday's game. Or in the last game this morning. The first pitch on its way. It's a fastball that misses high for ball one. Illinois State coming into this game on the heels of a heartbreaking 5-4 loss to the USF Bulls yesterday evening. They lost on a walk-off home run. Feldy winds and delivers. The 1-0 pitch is a breaking ball in there for a called strike. Feldy will be throwing to her catcher, Jordan De Los Reyes. The lineup for the Wolverines largely the same as the one last game. The only difference is Tara Blanco will be in the circle pitching, and at first base will be Taylor Swearingen. The 1-1 swinging a line drive, just foul down the right field line from Natalie Peters. Squared that one up well.
Got a good bit of that one. Not a lot in terms of pitching notes on Shannon Feldy. Really the only returning pitcher for Illinois State from last season was Sarah Fink. She went last night against the USF Bulls. So we'll go ahead and take a look into her statistics, see if we can find anything for you as the broadcast progresses. She was not the slated starter.
The 1-2 swinging a line drive foul down the third baseline. That one made its way by the screen and out of play. Peters just kind of reached out the bat at that one to spoil the pitch and keep the at-bat alive. The infield playing in at the corners, moderately deep up the middle. The outfield showing some respect. The 1-2 swing and a tapper foul behind home plate. That one a slow breaking ball, and Peters had run up so far, I don't know if she was still in the batter's box when she made contact.
Peters had a good outing in that first game, really did well in that leadoff spot, so just trying to pick up where she left off against Delaware about half an hour ago.
The 1-2 pitch swinging a looper into center field. That one's going to drop for a base hit, a leadoff single for Natalie Peters over the glove of the second baseman, Alex Kaliva. She never really had a chance at it. So Peters picks up where she left off. Do you think this, having already played a game is going to be to the benefit of the Wolverines, or do you think that maybe they're going to falter down the stretch in this game against Illinois State?
Well, Illinois State has also played a game, but it was last night, so I think the juices are pumping for the Wolverines. They're already warmed up.
First pitch to Abby Ramirez is chopped off the glove of the third baseman, Alyssa Weeble. She chopped it high in the air, and it actually was going to make its way over the head of Weeble. Would have been a tough play either way, but as it stands, an infield single for Abby Ramirez. Peters down to second base. 2 on, nobody out for Kelly Christner.
Quick 1-2 start for the Slap sisters, and they're on first and second to open this one up against the Illinois State Redbirds.
Christner 1 for 4 in last game. Got under the ball a few times. The first pitch is bunted right back to the pitcher, Feldy. She fields, fires to first, and gets Christner by a step. The runners advance. It's a well-executed sacrifice bunt. And now 2 runners are in scoring position for Michigan's most feared hitter and their starting pitcher today, Tara Blanco.
As you said, Tara Blanco is going to take the circle for the Wolverines, something that has been seen sparsely in the past but will become a much more common occurrence in terms of this pitching rotation, but right now trying to take care of business at the dish.
The infield in on Blanco. The first pitch is a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike one. We don't have names on the umps for this game. They were, I'd say, a little frenzied all around the stadium as far as preparing lineups are concerned, but we'll get you whatever information that we can. The 0-1 on its way, breaking ball, hard shot on 2 hops to second. They look home. Throws to first as Alex Kaliva, the second baseman, successfully holding Natalie Peters over at third base. An unproductive at-bat for Blanco, and now there are 2 outs with 2 runners in scoring position for Taylor Swearingen.
Swearingen came in as a pinch hitter towards the tail end of the last game against Delaware, had a 2-pitch at bat and flew out. Getting the start at first base in this game. We'll see sustained time at the plate. Going up against this mysterious pitcher, Shannon Feldy.
Feldy, the righty, winds and delivers to the righty, Swearingen. Fastball misses high. She's got considerable zip on her fastball.
Well, she's got some power at the plate, it looks like, too. Went 3 for 4 yesterday against the South Florida Bulls with an RBI. Perhaps a journey player.
The 1-0 pitch, fastball misses high and outside. The count 2-0. Feldy blonde-haired, wears it in a bun, a tight one over her head, a black headband. Illinois decked out in bright red uniforms with white pants with a black stripe down either side and black socks. Michigan in the same unis they had last game. The 2-0 pitch fastball misses high and inside, and Shannon Feldy is one pitch away from loading the bases for Alex Subcheck, who is hitting 6th in this Wolverines lineup. Subcheck, of course, will be followed by Lindsay Montemarano, Courtney Richardson, who will be getting a start, a second game in a row, and finally in the 9 spot, Faith Canfield. The 3-0 pitch, Swearingen takes all the way, and it's a strike, a fastball on the inner half.
Absolutely no clearance to swing on 3-0 there, and rightly so.
So the count now 3-1 on the righty Swearingen. The infield very deep on the right side, about normal depth on the left side. The 3-1 on its way, fastball way out of the zone, high and outside. Ball 4, the bases now loaded for Alex Subcheck. A chance to do some damage despite an unproductive at-bat from Tara Blanco trying to help out her own cause. The table has been set. Subcheck had a couple of solid at-bats last game, but where she really impressed me was in her performance in the fall. Spraying line drives all over the place, swings at the first pitch and rips it through the hole on the left side. 1 run will score. Rounding third, heading to the plate is Ramirez. The throw, the tag is there, and she is out. A hard hit ball from Subcheck scores 1, but a great throw from Caitlin Daly out in left field. Found the catcher Jordan Delos Reyes. She blocked the plate, she made the tag, and Ramirez was a dead duck. The Wolverines will take a 1-0 lead here into the bottom of the first inning against the Illinois State Redbirds.
I know we got a bit of a quick start, but there is a little bit of background information on this Illinois State Redbirds team coming out of the Missouri Valley Conference. This is the 2nd season in a row that Illinois State touts the youngest team in the Missouri Valley Conference. They bring back just 2 seniors, not completely dissimilar to Delaware, who Michigan just played. Really the big difference there is in the coaching staff. Delaware had a second-year coach in John Seneca, and you look at Illinois State, you've got Melinda Fisher at the head coach position going into her 32nd year this year with the Illinois State Redbirds program. 979 wins all time, 6 conference titles, and 9 NCAA tourney appearances. So if you really want to stack them up, Delaware and Illinois State, not all that dissimilar in terms of youth, but absolutely different in terms of experience on that coaching staff. So Coach Fisher has her team ready to go for another season. An interesting note as well on Illinois State, all but 5 of their 23 players come from the state of Illinois.
Hashtag
Fence the Illinois. Players who are not from the state of Illinois come from Indiana, Iowa, and Missouri. So they keep it very homegrown. They have a very good fan contingent here, considering the distance traveled. Saw a lot of Illinois State gear down there when we took our break at the break between games. Got a hot dog, got a little drink there. Morris, you had Jimmy John's.
Catered by the USF Athletic Department. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
So leading things off, trying to help her own cause, will be Shannon Feldy. She'll be followed by Anna Heineman, Riley Strandgard, the shortstop, Heineman playing center field. Jordan Delos Reyes, the catcher, hits cleanup. Hitting 5th and playing third base is Alyssa Wiebel. Hitting 6th, the left fielder Caitlin Daly. Hitting 7th, the second baseman Alex Kaliva. And the first pitch from Blanco dips down below the strike zone for ball 1. Hitting 9th and playing right field, Riley Hale. I think I messed up somewhere in that lineup card, but we'll get to see him as they hit. 1-0 the count. The Feldy, the 1-0 pitch, a fastball misses off the plate inside for ball 2.
As I said earlier, Feldy went 3 for 4 yesterday against the USF Bulls in that 5-4 defeat. Had an RBI and scored a run. Was all over the place. One of 2 Redbirds to go 3 for 4 yesterday.
2-0 the count on the righty Feldy. She takes all the way, and a fastball from Blanco misses off the plate inside. We didn't see much of Tara Blanco last year, threw about 30 innings in total, and a lot of that was spent away from Alumni Field. She's got breaking balls that go both right to left and left to right. Won't get a chance to break it out here as the 3-0 pitch is a fastball called strike at the knees.
Brought that heater in at 67 miles an hour on the gun, so packs a little bit of heat in the heater.
It'll be kind of an interesting balancing act to see how long of a leash Tara Blanco is given in this situation. The 3-1 pitch swung on and fouled off of her back foot. by Feldy. You know, given that Leah Crockett will be waiting in the bullpen, given that, you know, Michigan can only afford to experiment so much if they want to keep winning these games. The offense, I think, is going to feel a little more pressure to perform with the uncertainty in the circle. The 3-2 pitch on its way. Breaking ball started high and sailed above the head of Feldy. Geez, I'm gonna gonna have to warm up in this game too. A leadoff walk for the Illinois State Redbirds.
Not dissimilar from the start that Megan Betza had in the last game. Maybe a little bit of control across the board early on, but settling in was a big thing for Megan Betza as she was en route to 15 strikeouts and a big 7-0 win in the opening game against Delaware.
That'll bring up Anna Heineman. She takes the first pitch, a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike one. Heineman hitting from the lefty batter's box, slightly open stance, her body nearly straight up, a little bend in the knees. The 0-1 fastball called strike on the outside corner, squared to bunt but pulled it back. Strike anyway. The count now 0-2 on Anna Heineman.
Heineman and De Los Reyes, by all indications, the two senior leaders on this team, both on and off the field, according to all the Illinois State publications.
The 0-2 pitch misses high for ball one.
Although not the biggest threats at the plate, there is something to be said for that dugout leadership on a team that doesn't have a ton of old players on it.
The 1-2 pitch on its way from Blanco. Breaking ball started high, stayed high. Hasn't gotten the command that she's going to need on that breaking ball thus far to start this game. We saw something similar out of Betza, starting off against the Blue Hens with a couple of walks. The count runs to 2-2 on Anna Heineman. The 2-2 on its way, swinging a tapper foul off of herself, way out in front of an off-speed offering from Tara Blanco. Blanco working quickly, I'd say, compared to Megan Betza, especially with a runner on base.
Yep, just a quick check of the armband, gets her pitch, and then brings it right home.
Blanco winds 2-2 pitch yet again, taps slowly back to the circle. Blanco bobbles at Fields and flips over to Swearingen at first base. Maybe could have thought about throwing to second to cut down Feldy had she fielded it cleanly, but in the end opted for the smart play, got the out.
Not bad, but surely enough, handled in the circle. First out of the game, first out recorded this season for Tara Blanco.
And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Riley Strandgard. Went 0 for 2 with 2 walks in yesterday's game. The righty holds the bat out in front of her, pulls it back. The first pitch, a fastball, just misses off the inside corner for ball one.
Strandgard, the attack leader for the Redbirds, hit .368 last season, had 6 dingers and 28 ribs in the pocket.
She stands about centrally in the batter's box, her feet slightly open. Crouched low, the 1-0 pitch is swung on and popped up foul down the right field line. It'll one-hop its way into the Illinois State bullpen, and the count moves to 1-1 with 1 out. Shannon Feldy, the pitcher and leadoff hitter for the Redbirds, on second base after a walk and an advancement on a ground out. Subcheck gets back that ball from the ISU bullpen. Infield straightaway, maybe deep and toward either side up the middle. The corner shifted in slightly. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball on the inside corner at the knees. Great location from Blanco to get ahead in this count, now 1-2. The outfield straightaway, perhaps a little deep in the corners against the righty hitter Strandgard. Blanco gets her sign. The 1-2 on its way, swing and a tapper foul off the screen. There was a pitch low in the zone. Strandgard almost got too far under it. Just got a piece and stays alive in there.
Good job protecting that plate so far by Strandgard, really making Blanco earn those pitches in on the plate.
Strandgard with a tall, lanky frame, holds the bat out in front with 2 hands, now pulls it back. The 1-2 pitch, fastball misses high, 69 miles per hour out of the right hand of Tara Blanco. Good speed, but not quite the location she needed.
Just trying to fool Strandgard, but Strandgard not going to bite up high in that situation.
And the count moves to 2-2. Blanco gets her sign, winds, delivers. The pitch swung on, popped up shallow right field, moving over and making the catch is Peters. She fires over to third base. The runner goes the tag. No, not in time. The home plate umpire signals safe.
Wow.
Oh, it looked like the umpire in the field, the third base ump, might have had a better view of it, but he hesitated, and that call made by the home plate ump. It looked to me like a very good slide from Shannon Feldy, moving from second to third. Natalie Peters with a one-hop.
A fantastic throw from
very
Peters
good
out in
throw.
right field.
It was a little bit toward the outfield side of third base, and the slide was on the side of home plate, and as such, Monty couldn't quite get the quick tag. And to be honest, I couldn't tell you whether that was a good or bad call from up here. Obviously,
pretty darn close regardless.
A little bias on my side, but it was a darn close play and one that goes against the Wolverines. So nearly a double play. As it stands, runner on third, 2 outs for Alex De Los Reyes. The first pitch, big cut and a miss. Jordan De Los Reyes swings and misses at a high fastball.
De Los Reyes not too far behind Strandgard last year in terms of production numbers, but nothing that really pops out as a wow stat for her.
Stands very tall at the back of the batter's box. The 0-1 pitch, a called strike, fastball on the outer edge. Quickly behind the count is De Los Reyes. Her feet almost stuck together. Standing very little bend in her knees. She holds the bat out in front. Blanco winds the 0-2 on its way, swinging a tapper foul on the left side.
Blanco trying to get out of this first inning of work without any damage done.
Yeah, going back to that near double play, I thought it was hit shallow enough that Feldy would not even think about advancing. So credit to her to getting a little bit better scoring position. But man, that was close. The 0-2 on its way, breaking ball called, strike 3. Hadn't seen that off-speed stuff from Blanco much that inning, but she pulled it out when she needed it and gets out of the first inning unscathed. The Wolverines have yet to give up a run in 8 innings of action this season. They lead 1-0 heading into the top of the second here on WCBN Sports' broadcast of Michigan softball.
Put a little bit of confidence in the arm of Tara Blanco. Cannot be stressed enough that no matter how much preparation she's done in the offseason, nothing can really prepare for the amount of work that's going to be expected, being the number 2 in the rotation for the Wolverines. Leah Crockett obviously in there as well, but I think by all expectations it will be Blanco over Crockett in most situations, at least at this point.
She is hitless so far, though. Maybe the focus on pitching has led her to sacrifice a bit in the offensive department so far. We're going to have fun with small sample size.
Yeah, as you said earlier in the first broadcast, Mo, we're going to be working completely on sample sizes for most everybody and a lot of last season's stats early on here.
Yeah, so Lindsay Montemurano poised to lead things off for the Wolverines. They scored a run last inning, but they did leave the bases loaded as Alex Subchak couldn't quite get it done. Montemurano leading off. I don't even remember her box score from last game, but we all know enough about Lindsay Montemurano and who she is to know what to expect here at the plate in this game.
Feldy going to get right back out there after giving up a run in the top of the first to the Wolverines. Really no pitching stats on her that I could find online in that first inning after she was the surprise starter. The listed starter for this game was going to be Veronique Johnson. Did not come out to the circle to start the game.
That's actually who was written in the lineup card that I had to photograph and run back up here. And that's who was announced over the PA at the beginning of the game.
So Veronique Johnson, a last-minute scratch from the starting position in the circle for the Redbirds.
Total chaos, but the Wolverines looking to thrive in it. The first pitch from Feldy, Monty thought about it, let it go by. It's a called strike 1 on the outer half of the plate. Hard fastball from Feldy. And I think all the radar gun readings here can be taken with a grain of salt. The 0-1 on its way, breaking ball misses low for ball 1. You know, given that Betts' fastball was clocking in at a couple miles per hour higher than what we're used to seeing, I don't know if Blanco's really a 70-mile-per-hour thrower, but
nothing is official, but
the numbers are there, so we'll give them to you. The 1-1 on its way, swinging a pop-up. Back behind short, Strandgard takes a couple steps toward the edge of the infield grass and makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines here in the top of the second inning. And that's going to bring up Michigan's best hitter in their lineup if you go by her season-long stats. Courtney Richardson, 3 for 3 in last game earlier today with 3 singles.
Batting 1,000.
The first pitch from Feldy, and she swings and pops it up, and that's going to hurt the average. Caught by the third baseman, Weeble, just shy of the pitcher's circle. 2 up, 2 down for the Wolverines pretty quickly here as Feldy is settling in after a rocky first inning.
Well, I think an observation we had a few times last season, Morris, was there were games where the Wolverines lineup would come out very eager at the plate, taking a lot of pitches out into play that maybe they really should have waited on, and see a little bit of that early on here today.
First pitch to Canfield, she lets it go by, and it's on the inside corner for a called strike one, just below the hips. Did a little twist trying to sell that to the home plate umpire to no avail. 0-1 the count. Feldy winds, delivers. Canfield rips a grounder foul off the fence in front of the Michigan dugout on the third base side, and is quickly behind in the count 0-2.
Trying to put in a little work here at the plate. Get anything going in the top of the second with 2 outs. Don't let Feldy get on too much of a roll in the circle.
The 0-2 pitch swung on and tapped on 3 hops over to Kaliva at second base. She's playing deep in the whole field. Fires over to first and will retire Canfield easily. A 1-2-3 inning for the Wolverines lineup. And they head to the bottom of the second with a 1-0 lead. Tara Blanco, not a lot of rest between innings there.
Might have a quick game here on our hands if it continues this way, Morris. Already into the bottom of the second, things progressing with pace. Swearingen makes her way back out to first, and Tara Blanco back out to the circle for the Wolverines. As always, if you weren't listening during the first game, we invite everybody to join us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Feel free to tweet comments or anything that you might be wondering. Obviously, there is no video feed, so we're trying to do our best to describe what we can without any visual aids for the listeners at home. And thanks again to all you tuning in across coast to coast on WCBN Sports.
Blanco got in a little spot of trouble back in the first inning. Had to strand a runner on third base, but came through with the strikeout when she needed it. And, you know, it's hard to get a great read on pitchers' off-speed pitches, the ways that they're moving from up in the press box or, you know, from some angle that starts from behind home plate. Can't really tell whether they're going left to right, how much up and down movement there is. All you really have to go off of is the speed and the hitter's reaction. But back in the fall, I called Michigan's game against, I think it was Eastern. No, it was actually against Michigan State at Alumni. It was a game that ended up being swamped by a deluge of rain. But Blanco had a kind of a slider breaking ball in her arsenal, one that went across from right to left against a righty out of the right hand. She also had a pitch that I can only describe as a bit of a screwball going back from left to right. And that's something unusual, but I got to imagine it's less torque on a softball pitcher's arm than it would be, you know, out of a baseball. The first pitch from Blanco is cut on and missed. At the plate for Illinois State is the righty, Alyssa Wiebel.
That one clocks in at 68, I should say, on the gun. So, like you said, a little bit more speed on Tara Blanco's arm than does Megan Betza.
The 0-1 breaking ball just misses, popped out of the glove of Alex Subcheck and trickled back toward the circle. Close pitch from Blanco. Good command there. Wiebel, a righty with a wide stance toward the middle of the batter's box. Holds the bat pointing toward the sky. Waits with her elbow up. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses high and outside. Got away from Blanco there. The count moves to 2-1.
And I'll say this, too. As a young team, Illinois State obviously has a lot of players that are going to come back, room to grow. But this is a team that took the number 25 USF Bulls all the way to the finish last night, losing in a walk-off. So nothing to scoff at.
The 2-1, Wiebel thought about offering at it. It's a fastball that misses high for ball 3. The count moves to 3-1. And not only did they take them to the final out, but also on USF's home turf. Definitely something to be said for that. The 3-1 on its way. Swing and a fly ball center field. That one deep. Christner got turned around, leaps, and it's out of her glove. She fires it into Ramirez, the cutoff, but cruising into second base will be Wiebel, and Kelly Christner just never had a great read on that ball off the bat.
Nope, I think she thought it was going to go a little bit more shallow. Originally took 2 steps in and then quickly realized that one was going to fly over her head. Had the ball in her glove, should be worth noting that it was almost a catch made, just unable to squeeze that one as it popped right out.
Yeah, just not quite as easy as catching a baseball, you know. If I had to make a comparison. So now that will bring up Riley Phipps, the first baseman. The wind-up pitch on its way. The fastball in there for a called strike. And now we'll see how Blanco is going to rebound after a ball that should have been an out lands for, I think, what will be scored as a base hit. 0-1 the count on Phipps, the righty. Wide stance, bent knees, weight on the back foot, squares to bunt, and it goes in and hits her. I'll be interested to see how they go about this. I think they're going to call it a swing.
It did hit the bat before it hit her in the chest. The umpire did very quickly come up with the right hand. It is going to go down as a strike, but nonetheless, a painful moment for Riley Phipps as her hands on her knees, trying to get ready to either make her way back to the dugout or continue the at-bat.
Yeah, I mean, she barely got any contact on it, so it's basically a hit by pitch straight to the chest. As for how it feels. And so Phipps is going to get some time to work this out. I think there's a little jockeying from Illinois State's coaching staff to try to get that to be a hit by pitch, but Phipps very clearly did not pull the bat back. It's going to be strike two. The count is 0-2. The crowd giving her a round of applause as she readies to step back into the righty batter's box. And you can understand the desire to go for a bunt there, especially given how Feldy looked in that second inning, trying to scratch a run across against this Wolverines team. But now behind in the count 0-2, it'll be a little more difficult to pull it off. Blanco winds, pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses outside. Big secondary lead down at second base from Alyssa Wiebel.
Worth noting, this is an Illinois State team that hardly runs at all. They only attempted 30 steals last season. They were successful on 26, so they're choosy when they go, but when they do, pretty successful.
The 1-2 breaking ball started high, stayed high out of the right arm of Tara Blanco, and the count moves to 2-2. If she plays it well, that's a pitch that'll help adjust the eye level. If not, it's a pitch that'll be part of losing the hitter. Phipps rests the bat on her right shoulder, now pulls it up. The 2-2 on its way from Blanco. Fastball just missed, and I don't think Tara Blanco liked the call. It was very close, maybe a bit high. The count moves full on Riley Phipps.
It's going to catch a good groan from the Maize and Blue faithful here at the USF Softball Stadium.
Blanco peers back into the dugout, perhaps just showing frustration. The 3-2 on its way, swing and a miss. Phipps down on strikes. And Blanco did end up battling and getting the better of Phipps in that at-bat. One out now. The runner on second base still is Alyssa Wiebel. And that's going to bring up Caitlin Daly, the left fielder, who got an assist at the plate to cut down the Wolverines' rally in the first inning. Daly stands tall, a wide open stance in the righty batter's box. The first pitch is a breaking ball that drops in there under the upper region of the strike zone for a called strike one.
This is Caitlin Daly's debut game of the season for Illinois State. It was Corey Meisher who got the start yesterday in left field.
The 0-1 swinging a tapper over toward the left side. Ramirez fields, fires across the diamond to retire Daly at first base. The runner on second, Wiebel, had to start stepping back towards second base because that's where Ramirez's momentum was taking her, and if she had gotten caught off the bag, Ramirez could have just tagged her out. Good base running, conservative base running from the Redbirds. They keep their runner in scoring position, and now 2 outs.
And a great job by Tara Blanco to come back and get 2 outs after the leadoff double to start the inning.
That'll bring up Alex Kaliva. She takes the first pitch as it dips low for ball 1. Kaliva, another righty, a pretty righty-heavy lineup for the Redbirds against the righty Blanco today. Outfield shading straight away, perhaps a couple steps in. Infield straight away as well. The 1-0 pitch, a fastball, misses off the plate away. Subcheck did her best to try to pull that one back in, but the count moves to 2-0 on Kaliva. Waiting on deck is the number 9 hitter, the right fielder Riley Hale. First base is open for Blanco to play with if she wants to. Blanco winds the 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses high and outside, and the count moves to 3-0 on Alex Kaliva.
Kaliva's first start of the season as well for Illinois State. Yesterday at second base, it was Abby Turzin getting the start.
Kaliva, with her weight really far pushed back on that back foot in the batter's box, takes the 3-0 pitch. It's a fastball down and inside for ball 4. Kaliva down to first base with a 2-out walk. Now 2 runners on with 2 outs for Riley Hale, the last hitter in the Illinois State order.
Seems maybe like this will be something that we see a bit more with Tara Blanco getting sustained time in the circle. She gives up a fair number of walks, or at least she has at this rate.
All about the sample size.
Again, see if that zone can settle back in. Like we said, Megan Betza didn't have the hottest of starts in the last game in terms of having her control with her, but came out of it better for the wear.
First pitch to Hale is a fastball that misses low for ball one. Hale, a lefty, stands toward the back of the batter's box, and we're going to have a conference in the circle. Jennifer Brundage out to talk with Tara Blanco and Alex Subcheck, and now a conference with the Redbirds base runners and batters also down the third base line.
Just talking a little bit of strategy here with Coach Fisher. Really one of the only coaches that I think we've come across that has an equitable amount of experience with Coach Carol Hutchins, a long-standing professional staff member here at Illinois State. Her assistants as well, upwards of 10 years each on their assistant coaching jobs with the Redbirds to boot.
1-0 the count on Riley Hale. Blanco winds, delivers, swing and a foul ripped back to the screen. A fastball up in the zone, but just a little bit too far in on the hands for Hale to barrel up. The count moves to 1-1. Hale, a lefty, has her hair braided, running in a single braid down her back, a red ribbon at the end. Slightly open stance, a lot of bend to her knees, holds the bat out in front and pulls it back. The 1-1, a breaking ball, started high and stayed high. About head level to Hale. She was not even thinking about offering it that one. The count moves to 2-1.
And that pitch works a lot better as Tara Blanco starts to bring in her zone a bit more, changing the eye levels, but a lot of it has been coming high, so it's a lot easier to lay off of that pitch when you're seeing it in the majority.
The 2-1 fastball swung on and engulfed back to the screen behind home plate. Started low and away. Blanco working all over the zone, but she's going to need a pitch to put away Hale as she has battled well in this at-bat. Swearingen a couple steps in from the bag at first base. Monty a couple steps in over at third. The 2-2 cold, strike three on the outside corner, 69 miles per hour on the gun. Tara Blanco again pulls out the strikeout when she needs it, gets out of the jam, and we head to the top of the third inning. Michigan clinging to a 1-0 lead over the Illinois State Redbirds.
What a job by Tara Blanco under pressure. Obviously gave up the leadoff double, came back, got 2 outs, then puts another runner on, and a sticky situation comes out positively for the Wolverines. And, you know, not a lot of experience in the circle for Tara Blanco, but that looked like a seasoned outing there to get out of the jam.
Yeah, you know, got to be a lot of nerves. She knows that she's assuming a larger role on the team this season, and, you know, thus far she's struggled a bit, put on a couple of base runners due to her own inaccuracy, but she's battled out of it, and she looks thus far equipped to handle it, albeit, you know, it's only 2 innings and it's against Illinois State. Can't read too much into it. So the Wolverines are going to need to get a little bit more going on the offensive ends of things. Shannon Feldy running through the Wolverines 1-2-3 in the second after running into a lot of trouble in the first.
Looks like the Florida Gators team has arrived. They're out at the batting facility in left field now in their orange unis, orange jerseys, orange pants, and the Florida fans seemingly trickling in their game up after this one.
And this will really test the mettle of this Illinois State team. You know, you get done with Michigan, however this one goes, and you have to run up against an arguably even better team after already having played a full game. And while it will remain difficult to quantify exactly how much the effect is of having played a game right before, they're going to have to grapple with probably fatigue after this one when taking on the number 4 ranked Florida Gators squad. Natalie Peters leading things off, swings and taps one toward the left side, fielded on a couple hops by Strandgard. She fires to first and gets Peters by a step. Peters singled in her first at-bat, but retired to start this third inning.
Slap Sisters leading it off again with Peters and now Ramirez. It's been a good combo so far for the Wolverines. Again, sample size withstanding, the 2 slap hitters at the top of Michigan's order have had a great day thus far.
Ramirez takes the first pitch, and it's a slow breaking ball, 49 on the gun, and on the outside corner for a called strike one. And that can really throw off the rhythm of a slap hitter who gets that run and start. Ramirez an infield single in her last at-bat. The 0-1 on its way. Fastball, a little more on that one, but it's a little more off the plate, taken for ball 1. Infield and outfield slightly in against the slap-hitting Abby Ramirez, who is off to a decent start to the season. The 1-1, breaking ball ducks in under the hands and low for ball 2. Gets by the catcher Jordan De Los Reyes, but obviously inconsequential as no one's on base yet for the Wolverines. Haven't seen a lot of power hitting today. Obviously yesterday's game ended on a walk-off home run, but nobody really testing that in today's game. The 2-1 pitch, a called strike at the knees on the outside corner.
Seen a good number of long fly balls, and then the double in the last half inning for the Redbirds had some good distance on it, but as we've said a couple of times, it's about 10 feet deeper to dead center field here than it would be in the home confines of Alumni Field.
The 2-2 pitch on its way, swinging a line drive back up the middle. That is a clean base hit for Abby Ramirez, who has gotten off to a 2-for-2 start to the day. To the game, I should say.
The only bummer is that they don't play Gasolina when she comes out at visiting stadiums.
You're really looking forward to that, aren't you, JP?
I am. I mean, that's one of the nuances of Michigan softball.
I mean, I think they do walk-up music most places. They just can't tailor to all the visiting teams here. The first pitch to Kelly Christner, a fastball misses off the plate inside for ball 1.
Christner has had a bit of a slow start to the day. Didn't have really an outstanding game against Delaware. Trying to bring herself back into this one with a little bit more production.
The 1-0, that's a fastball. It's going to catch the zone. Caught a lot of the plate on the inner half at the knees for a called strike 1. Christner, a sacrifice bunt in her first at-bat, her first plate appearance, I should say. Maybe that's something that'll just help her see the ball a bit better. The 1-1 on its way, breaking ball, and that one just misses. Looped around the zone on the outside corner. The count 2-1. Tara Blanco waiting on deck. Christner trying to set the table a little more fully for the pitcher trying to help out her own cause. The 2-1 fastball misses high and outside, and the count moves 3-1 in favor of Kelly Christner.
What a time it would be for a dinger, Mo, if we could get one.
An opportunity to atone for her slip-up in center field. The 3-1 on its way, swinging a pop-up behind home plate. De Los Reyes is going to have room and makes a basket catch. Not the type of swing you want to see on 3-1. Christner's going to be kicking herself going back to the dugout.
Yep, struggles at the plate continue for Kelly Christner. Again, very, very early on, but looking to get her head back into the offensive game, and with a little gaff in center field, the defensive game as well.
Tara Blanco now up to the plate. 1 on, 2 outs. The pitch on its way, check swing. Blanco got a piece of it, fouled it back to the screen on the right side.
Blanco trying to help her own cause here. She's only got 1 run to support her. She's going to have to head back to the circle in the bottom of the inning.
Blanco 0 for 1 on the game today. Ramirez down at first, a threat to go. The 0-1 pitch, the hard breaking ball off the plate away for ball 1.
So far, Shannon Feldy has done a pretty darn good job of quelling this Wolverines offensive attack.
They've squared her up. They've gotten a few hits, but only clustered it for 1 run in the first. The 1-1 swing and a ground ball foul down the third baseline. The count moves to 1-2.
Abby Ramirez was gone on contact on that one.
Blanco didn't quite have it barreled up and clearly doesn't quite have the timing on Shannon Feldy thus far.
Gonna have to protect the plate, 2 strikes. Continue to beat off bad pitches until she sees something good.
The 1-2 breaking ball swung on and tapped slowly up the middle, fielded by Kaliva, flips with the glove over to second base. Strandguard covers, records the force out at second, and that'll do it for the Wolverines in the top of the 3rd inning. A 1-out single from Abby Ramirez comes to nothing, and the Wolverines take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 3rd here at USF Softball Stadium in sunny Tampa, Florida in the Wilson DeMarini Classic. The Wilson DeMarini Tournament, as I am corrected over the public address. Blanco thus far in this game, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit surrendered, 2 walks, and that's got to be the area that she'll need to improve upon as she goes through this lineup for a second time. The Redbirds lineup will have adjusted to her at least a bit, and will probably be squaring the ball up a little better, and it's at that point where you have to cut down on the self-inflicted wounds. It'll be the top of the lineup facing Blanco. Feldy followed by Heineman and Strandgaard. Blanco has ended each inning with a strikeout. If she could get a 1-2-3 inning here, maybe it would spur the Michigan offense into some momentum. The offense hasn't looked quite as potent as we have seen it, toward the end of the season at Alumni Field. It felt like every other game was a run rule. And maybe I'm a little spoiled, though. They came one run away against Delaware. But you expect the best out of this softball team.
Tara Blanco continuing to warm up. This is a more sustained warm-up than we've seen in previous half innings, taking a little bit extra time. And that'll be the last pitch with a throw down to second from sub-check.
Yeah, well, it's always going to be a longer break between innings when the pitcher is the one who made the last out of the inning.
An astute observation, Mr. Morris.
I tried. So it'll be Feldy leading things off. Reached base with a walk back in the first inning. Feldy, a righty, holds the bat out in front as if to bunt. He'll pull it back as Blanco delivers. The windup, the pitch, fastball called, strike at the belt on the outside corner. Good stuff there from Tara Blanco, pounding the zone to get ahead of the righty Feldy. The infield shaded on either side of the hole. Up the middle, at least, there's a pretty big gap. The 0-1 on its way, swinging a ground ball on one hop over to Canfield at second. She plucks it out of the dirt, tosses it over to first base, and easily retires Feldy, who hit that one pretty hard, but in the wrong spot.
Good, easy first out of the inning for Tara Blanco. Found herself in a couple tight spots early. Would do wonders for the confidence to just have a quick and easy 1-2-3.
That's going to bring up Annie Heineman. The first pitch on its way from Blanco. Fastball up in the zone, maybe up above the zone. She takes for ball one.
Wind has all but died. Just a light blow from left to right field still.
The 1-0 pitch, a fastball. This one catches the zone on the inside corner. Good location there from Tara Blanco. The count evens at 1-1 with one out and nobody on. Heineman, the lefty, stands a little close to the plate. Feet not too widely apart, knees bent. The pitch is swung on and it's an off-speed pitch, grounded foul down the first base line. Heineman a little out in front, rolled over on it, and the count moves to 1-2. Heineman holds the bat nearly parallel to the ground over her left shoulder. Awaiting the 1-2, Blanco taking her time, checking her wristband.
Working a little bit more slowly than she was to open the game up.
The 1-2 on its way from Blanco. Check swing at a high fastball. Appeal down to third base, and she did not go, they say. The count moves to 2-2. I'd say that's probably the right judgment.
Looked like the right call, pretty close, but I think even from our eye level, it looked like a pretty good check swing.
Nice job by Blanco to at least draw that kind of an offering. Plant that seed of uncertainty. The 2-2 pitch swung on and tapped meekly back to the circle. Blanco fields and fires over to Swearingen at first base for the second out of the inning.
Heineman yet to record a hit. She was 0 for 3 in yesterday's game, and she'll head back to the dugout and try and figure it out again.
Also yet to record a hit on the game is Riley Strandgaard, 0 for 2 yesterday with a couple of walks. The righty 0 for 1 in today's game.
Big power hitter Strandgaard, trying to get something moving here.
First pitch off speed in there for a called strike one. Sort of a get me over breaking ball there from Tara Blanco, but she got it over and it worked. Infield shaded toward the lines. Montemurano a couple steps in off the baseline over at third, playing off the line. The 0-1 pitch fastball misses high for ball one. Outfield shading straight away on Strandgaard. Christner definitely giving her some respect. Somewhat deep in center field.
Perhaps thinking about that last double that went over her head.
Not Romero level deep though. The 1-1 fastball in under the hands for a called strike two. Really sterling location there from Tara Blanco. She spotted the fastball well here in the third inning.
Center field, a new spot for Kelly Christner as well this season, taking over for Sierra Lawrence.
The 1-2 on its way, swing and a foul off the screen. A fastball low and in that handcuffed Strandgaard, and you got to give her credit for even making contact on that one. And yeah, I was wondering how Krishner would adjust to playing center field after playing left for the majority of her career here at the University of Michigan.
Changes your depth and perception just enough to cause a couple miscues like the one we saw last inning.
The 1-2 pitch foul down the left field line. And yeah, you know, the way the ball is coming at you changes, the field that you have to cover changes, even the spin on the ball. It's an adjustment to make, and I'm sure that Krishner has had plenty of time to make those kinds of adjustments, but not a lot of time outdoors, you know, in-game action. The 1-2 pitch breaking ball misses low in the dirt for ball 2. And if I recall correctly, I'm not sure whether she was playing center field even in the Wolverines fall ball matchups. I assume she was because this is an adjustment that's been in the works for a while. Blanco winds, the 2-2 on its way to Strangard, swinging a rocket off the glove of Abby Ramirez on one hop and into left field. Strangard takes a wide turn. Ramirez had to range over to her right. Would have been a tough play, but one that you might expect the senior shortstop to make.
Yeah, a little bit awkward from Abby Ramirez. Not something you normally see. Almost always a sure-handed shortstop. Her fielding percentage sterling last season. No real hops or any bad skips in this dirt either. That one just a bit too far off to her side and popped out of her glove as she was unable to squeeze it tight. Redbirds still in business here in the bottom of the third.
That's going to bring up Jordan De Los Reyes. Blanco pounds the inside corner for a called strike on the fastball. First pitch to De Los Reyes. De Los Reyes struck out in her last at-bat with a runner on base. It was Feldy on third in that situation. The 0-1, a fastball that just misses high for ball 1. The count moves to 1-1.
Blanco still hanging in there. That would have been her 1-2-3 inning, but right back at it in a 1-1 count. Try and bring it back inside here.
Blanco winds, the 1-1 pitch on its way. Big cut and a miss from De Los Reyes on a fastball above the belt and outside. Blanco consistently showing up in that 68, 69 mile per hour range on the radar gun. She's got some zip to her fastball. 1-2 the count. She winds, delivers. Fastball misses well high and outside. Again, pouring it in at 68, but well out of the zone there.
Seems as though every time Tara Blanco's gone high and got a batter to chase, she is pretty tempted to go right back to that same pitch with a much lesser degree of success on the second attempt in just about every explanation.
The 2-2 swung on, engulfed high and foul over the screen, out of play and onto the road. Hopefully not hitting any passing cars. One plus side of this USF softball facility, there's not a lot of parking immediately surrounding the stadium, so not a lot of targets for foul balls. The 2-2 yet again on its way to De Los Reyes. She swings and taps one foul down the third base line. It'll bounce off the fencing in front of the Wolverines dugout and out into shallow left field. Ramirez trots over and picks it up. They don't waste these balls.
Never get a souvenir at a softball game. Saw a young Michigan fan denied in the Delaware game.
It's Strangard down at first base. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Blanco winds. The pitch to De Los Reyes. Fastball misses. The runner goes. The throw in time. Don't run on Alex Subcheck. She's got a cannon, and she ends the inning with the caught stealing. Through 3, we head to the top of the 4th. Michigan still up 1-0.
How about that? Alex Subcheck coming into her own behind the plate. We've talked about her defensive prowess, something that the Wolverines looked for a lot last season. 2 stealing attempts on her today. Neither of them reaching second base.
Subcheck sublime on that caught stealing there. And, you know, I think she's been a little subpar behind the plate as far as actually catching the pitches. A couple of runners advanced on some passed balls in that Delaware game that were, you know, tough pitches to handle, but still pitches I think you can expect her to handle down the road. But, man, she has gunned them down when they've tried to steal second on her.
Michigan's offense, though, still yet to give much run support to Tara Blanco. Headed back at it in the top of the 4th with just a 1-0 lead over the Illinois State Redbirds. As we mentioned, this is a young Illinois State team, but so far they're holding their own against the likes of number 25 USF and right now number 6 Michigan.
You know, it's early in the season, and you know, with a lot of adjustments to be made, I think that in general, teams will be a little more prone to being upset before they really settle into their rhythm, settle into the kinds of players that, you know, will eventually take on their roles throughout the season. It's a time of transition. You know, preseason rankings are never quite as accurate as the rankings that assume later down the road. But with all that in mind, still impressive stuff from the Redbirds. Taylor Swearingen will lead things off. What do you think of the decision to put her 5th in the order?
Well, we'll mention after the first pitch here.
First pitch, fastball misses high for ball 1.
It's interesting. Aiden Falk didn't have a bad game. By all accounts, a pretty, you know, average to above average game in the start against Delaware, but deciding to take a seat on the designated player and sending Swearingen out at first. A byproduct of Terra Blanco starting in the circle, no doubt.
The 1-0 pitch swung on and grounded foul down the third base line. A pitch low and inside that Swearingen tried to turn on but couldn't square up.
It was something that Coach Carol Hutchins had mentioned in her press conference about a week and a half ago, that you would see a lot more Taylor Swearingen at first base when Terra Blanco was hitting or throwing.
The 1-1 fastball misses just off the plate inside. Very good spot from the pitcher, Shannon Feldy, but not quite good enough to earn the call. The count moves to 2-1. And I can only assume that the reason for putting her in that 5 spot is to allow the other hitters in the lineup to continue their rhythm that they had established from that first game, try to become comfortable in certain spots, in certain scenarios, as the 2-1 pitch is a breaking ball that misses low for ball 3. The count now 3-1 on Swearingen.
Bat will not leave her shoulder here, so should be an easy strike for Feldy.
She swings wow. It's 3-1, Jeremy. You know, it's not the same as 3-0.
I mean, for Swearingen, who's had a bit of a rough day at the plate, I'd expect her to sit on that one.
Swearingen 0 for 1 in last game, walked in her first plate appearance today. Now the count 3-2 on the Michigan first baseman. The pitch on the way, swinging a pop-up. Behind first base, into short right field it goes. Ranging out onto the grass is the second baseman, Kaliva, and she will make the catch for the first out of the inning.
A lot of Wolverines hitters getting underneath some of these pitches. Just trying to square up that bat a little bit more, put a little bit harder a hit on some of these balls. Seen a lot of infield flies, couple pop-outs behind the plate.
That'll bring up Alex Subcheck. The first pitch on the way to the sophomore catcher. Drifts low for ball 1. Subcheck, a phenom out of high school coming into the Wolverines. Started a lot of games early on last year, but then sort of faded as they drifted more toward Aiden Falk and some Katie Alexander. But now she's back. She's got the starting job. She's gunning runners down, and she's going to have a chance at the plate to get this Wolverines rally started here in the top of the 4th. Ahead in the count 2-0 after the pitch misses high.
Yeah, got to be feeling herself right now. And quick circle visit for the Redbirds. De Los Reyes going to talk to Feldy for just a brief second, maybe give her a one-pitch briefing.
Feldy back onto the rubber. Everyone straight away on defense against the catcher, Subcheck. The pitch on its way, swinging a ground ball, diving stop at third base by Weeble. Fires from her knees to first, and the ball is dropped by the first baseman, Riley Phipps. Would have been a spectacular play from Weeble. The throw not exactly in Phipps' comfort zone, but oh man, that's on the first baseman.
Yeah, Weeble just about had a web gem, and then Phipps dropped the conversion at first base, but Wolverines have a base runner with 1 out.
The strength of the throw, as much as anything, was what
from her seat of her pants.
Really caught the eye on that play. But as it stands, Subcheck on first base for Montemurano. The first pitch, hard breaking ball just off the plate away for ball 1. Again, the defense straight away, perhaps shaded a bit up the middle, double play depth against the Michigan third baseman, Montemurano, 0 for 1 on the game today. The 1-0 pitch, slow breaking ball, drifts into the strike zone in the upper tier for a called strike 1.
Monty would love to get something going here, whether that's drawing a walk or putting that ball in play. At the very least, wants to advance Subcheck down to second.
The 1-1 breaking ball starts low and stays there in the dirt for ball 2. Good block by the catcher, De Los Reyes. Montemurano standing toward the front of the batter's box, about a normal distance from home plate. Stands tall with her weight on her back foot, usually crouches farther back to load up to swing. The 2-1 pitch, hard fastball, misses low and in. The count moves to 3-1. More in than low, I guess. The runner down at first base, sub check, not really a threat to steal. The wind continues to blow behind us with more intensity. Now the 3-1 pitch. Fastball just misses off the plate away. A close one, but Monty's got a good eye. She lets it go by, and she goes down to first with a 1-out walk. The Wolverines threatening now. Courtney Richardson, the star of game 1, up to the plate with 2 on and 1 out.
Faltered in her first at bat, getting another opportunity here with 2 runners on and just 1 down.
Faith,
go ahead.
I was just going to say Faith Canfield, the bottom of the order, on deck. First pitch swung on and crushed high, deep into left field. That one tracking back toward the fence. It is gone! A 3-run home run for Courtney Richardson. The sophomore didn't even know she was going to be in the lineup, but she is making her impact felt. She gives the Wolverines a 4-0 lead.
A Richardson dinger round the bases. Courtney, what a day so far for the Wolverines left fielder. How about that? That one was gone off the bat. Tracking back to the left was Daly, but that one well over her head. And that's an extended wall out in left field too.
It's only 190 feet out to left field as opposed to 210 at Alumni, but yeah, it is a higher wall, and Richardson cleared that by a pretty good margin. That brings up Faith Canfield, the first pitch, a fastball off the plate inside. And I don't know how many of you listeners out there had Courtney Richardson in your betting pools as the first Michigan player to hit a home run, but there she is.
None of us on East of the Rockies had that, so we all lose.
The 1-0 on the way to Canfield. Breaking ball misses high and outside, and Feldy looks a bit rattled out there in the circle.
And that 8-9 duo at the bottom really has been great so far. Not just Richardson, but Canfield as well has had herself a bit of a day at the plate. The Wolverines hitters at the bottom of the lineup doing wonders. Michigan now with a 4-0 lead. And you got to feel for Feldy, who had really been throwing a fairly decent game at that point, had given her team a chance to stay in it. And now the Wolverines giving Tara Blanco a lot more run support with room to grow, still just 1 out in the inning.
In this rally, Feldy was looking pretty good. 1-2-3 inning in the second. Got through the heart of the Wolverines lineup in the third inning. Looked like she was cruising, and then all of a sudden she ran into the 5, 6, 7, 8 hitters in this Wolverines lineup, and they're the ones who have done the damage. Canfield ahead in the count, 2-0 after a powwow in the circle. Illinois State's pitching coach came out and shared some words. The 2-0 on its way, swing and a pop-up foul up and out of play behind home plate. Canfield way out in front of that one, caught it with the end of the bat. It was a great pitch to hit, but she was a little over-eager at the plate. The count now 2-1. Nobody on after the Richardson 3-run bomb, and the 2-1 pitch misses high and outside for ball 3. We didn't even know who was going to start in the outfield. We hypothesized it might be Thais Gonzalez, might be Haley Hoganrod. I kind of was leaning toward Richardson because she had the experience, but did not expect this. The 3-1 pitch, a hard ground ball, and really preternatural reflexes by Natalie Peters. It looked like she was darting forward out of the way in the on-deck circle before that one was even hit.
And that's good because it squirted right over the on-deck circle if she was standing in it.
That could be, broken foot or something near.
Yeah, that had a lot of spice on it.
The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Canfield chases one out of the zone off the plate outside and goes down on strikes.
A disappointing at bat there after getting ahead in the count. Had a couple good pitches to hit, spoiled them away. Wolverines, with 1 out left in the inning, have already put 3 on the board in the top of the 4th, lead at 4-0. And the top of the order in Natalie Peters now at the plate.
First pitch is swung on and tapped foul down the first baseline, fielded on 2 hops by first base coach Bonnie Thole.
Bonnie Thole getting in touch with her playing days there. Down and in front of it, made a clean grab.
Exchanging some wisecracks with the Illinois State bench, it appears.
That's fundamentals right there.
The 0-1 on its way to Peters, who is 1 for 2 on today's game. She takes it. It's a breaking ball that dips into the dirt for ball 1. The infield in on Peters. And
1 for 2.
These sophomores, Peters and Richardson, we really didn't know what to expect out of them, but as the 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball in there for a called strike too, but they have really impressed, and if they can continue, at anything resembling what they've shown today, it's going to be another very fun season and not much of a drop-off for this Wolverines squad.
Well, if the sample size dictates, Courtney Richardson's going to hit 800 with 100 RBIs.
Peters swings at the 1-2 pitch, hits it on 2 hops over to second. It's going to be an easy flip over to first from Alex Kaliva, and that'll do it for the Wolverines in the top of the 4th inning, but not until after they tally 3 on the strength of a Courtney Richardson 3-run bomb. The Wolverines lead 4-0 heading to the bottom of the 4th. Tara Blanco's got some run support in the circle here on WCBN Sports' broadcast of Michigan softball.
And in looking at the Illinois State Redbirds, really the pitcher that I thought the Wolverines were going to see would be Sarah Fink, who played last night, and originally this game was scheduled to be the last of the weekend on Sunday morning. So in terms of rotation, that would have been the case, but with this game getting moved up to this afternoon, that is not the case. But the thing that I saw in Sarah Fink was that last year she seemed to pitch well, had a pretty good ERA, just a hair over 3, but had absolutely no run support from her team. Had a staggering win-loss column, somewhere around 9-20 if I remember right. And really, most of that was just because of the fact that her offense could not provide her with any help.
Well, it looks like more of the same so far for the Illinois State Redbirds. It's kind of funny, all of our scouting that we put, all the effort, the homework that we put into our podcast, East of the Rockies, which you can find on SoundCloud or on iTunes. We put a lot of scouting into the teams this weekend, but thus far it's kind of come to nothing. You know, the players we didn't expect to produce are producing. The players we expected to see produce from the other teams not really showing up so far.
We'll just say it's going to be a fun episode this week when we get back to Ann Arbor in terms of what? Who? How? That might be the title of the episode. What? Who? How?
It's a work in progress, but I like that one. Jordan, that's the second time I've done that. Jordan De Los Reyes starting things off for the Redbirds. The first pitch, a fastball, misses high for ball 1. Her last at-bat was interrupted as Alex Subcheck cut down Riley Strangard at second base on her second caught stealing of the year. Blanco comes, set, looks, and gets the sign. The 1-0 to De Los Reyes, misses low and in for ball 2. De Los Reyes, as I established in the first inning, stands almost straight up in that righty batter's box. Puts some distance between her and a home plate.
That is quite the tiny stance.
The 2-0 pitch is a fastball that misses high and outside. The count moves to 3-0. And that kind of stance leaves her open to some vulnerability on the outside half of the plate. But, you know, maybe she just wants to really protect that inside half and be able to turn on and power anything on that part of the plate. The 3-0 on its way from Blanco. Swing and a miss. De Los Reyes had the green light, opened up, and found nothing.
Illinois State down 4 runs, trying to get something going, I guess, on a 3-0 pitch, but waving and missing is De Los Reyes, one of the team leaders, one of the 2 seniors on this team.
The 3-1 fastball misses inside, and De Los Reyes down to first base with a leadoff walk. And it's the shutdown innings that'll really win you games. Games where your offense puts you ahead for a little bit, and then the next half inning, you come out and quell any hopes of a rally. Blanco looking to do more of the same here.
As there's a circle meeting between Alex Subcheck and Tara Blanco, we haven't used our winning innings analogy yet so far, Morris. Like boxing, we use that all the time. The Wolverines winning innings. You get 1 run in the top or in the bottom, and then that next half inning, holding the other team scoreless, that's what wins games. And much like a boxing match, the Wolverines up right now on the card, 4-0. Tara Blanco getting ready to get back in the circle.
Up on the card and up on the cards if you want to have a nickname for the Redbirds.
There now.
I don't know how many Redbirds there are out there, but
that are not. How many birds that are red that are not Cardinals?
Their mascot is very clearly a Cardinal. Pinch runner down at first base. Looks like her last name is Thulin. Don't know a first name. The first pitch from Tara Blanco, a fastball in there at the knees, inner half for a called strike 1.
Redbirds are Cardinals that just don't want to be identified as such, man. Can't put labels on a bird.
It is Stephanie Thulin, the pinch runner down at first base. The 0-1 pitch fastball misses high. Subcheck leaps out of her crouch to snag it.
Thulin pinch ran yesterday. Brought a run across the plate for the Redbirds. Back out on the bag for De Los Reyes.
You got to imagine they'll be hesitant to steal after the showcase Subcheck put on last inning. The 1-1 A breaking ball that also starts high and stayed high.
You say that just as Thulin's looking like she's about to steal. She's giving big swipes of the arm as she's rearing to go off of that bag at first.
You could say she's really Thulin with the Wolverines.
Yeah, that was close.
It was a push.
That's about a 6 out of 10.
The 2-1 swing and a hard line drive foul down the left field line. Alyssa Weeble, the hitter, all over that one, but
pulled it just a bit late.
Got to straighten those out. The count moves to 2-2. Weeble with a very prominent elbow guard on her left arm.
Really a big bat for this Redbirds lineup. 3 for 4 yesterday and the big double not long ago.
The 2-2 fastball just misses off the plate outside. Blanco wanted the call, as did Subcheck. Very close, but kind of a 50-50 that didn't go their way. The count moves full on Alyssa Weeble. Weeble, the righty, holds the bat high, awaits the payoff pitch, swinging a fly ball to left field. That one headed back at the track, at the wall. That one is gone. Midway up the bleachers. A 2-run shot for Alyssa Weeble cuts the Wolverines' lead in half. And Richardson, the left fielder, knew that that one was gone off the bat. It got up into that jet stream and was pretty much a no-doubter.
First runs given up on the season for the Wolverines off the arm of Tara Blanco and off the bat of Alyssa Weeble. Weeble is having herself a weekend as well.
Really establishing herself in this Redbirds lineup as a hitter to be feared. You know, more of that small sample size theater. If she keeps this up, she's going to be the best player in the country.
5 for 6 right now with a lot of power going her way. Didn't have any RBIs yesterday, but just put 2 to her name today. Or I should say she had 1 yesterday, put 2 more on today, so 3 ribs in her pocket.
And that's going to bring up Riley Phipps, the first baseman.
Now this will be a very interesting test for Tara Blanco. How does she come back after giving up the long ball to Weeble? Well, how does she pitch? Does she get a little bit more timid and air to the side? She is reaching the bottom of the lineup. Or does she go right back at him?
The first pitch bounces about 10 feet in front of home plate. And, you know, if she sticks with that approach, I can't say she'll have much success. The count 1-0 on Riley Phipps. Phipps 0 for 1 on the day. The righty stands near the back of the batter's box. Swings and lines the 1-0 pitch right at Faith Canfield at second base for the first out of the inning. And I think that's what Blanco has to do. She, you know, we mentioned after the first inning, she can't be having self-inflicted wounds. She can't be walking hitters. And the 1 run scored in that situation because she got behind in the count to De Los Reyes. She's got to trust her defense. And while it hasn't been, you know, up to par today, that's still the winning approach on the in the circle, I think. The first pitch, a fastball at the knees to Caitlin Daly, the left fielder.
Has to be said, though, Phipps put a good bit of work in on that ball.
Put a charge into it, but in the wrong spot. The 0-1 pitch on the way, breaking ball swung on and tomahawk chopped down into the dirt by Caitlin Daly, the righty. Daly also 0 for 1 on the game today. That one a breaking ball that probably missed a spot, but still had enough movement that it missed the barrel of the righty Daly, who stands with an open stance near the back of the box, rests the bat on her right shoulder, now lifts it up, the 0-2 pitch on its way. Another off-speed pitch that starts high and stays high. That one never made it down below Daly's head, and the count moves to 1-2.
Well, it's a good thing the Wolverines gave Tara Blanco a bit of run support, otherwise she would find herself in a much more uncomfortable situation at this point.
The 1-2 on its way, swing and a miss. Daly down on strikes, chased that one off the plate away, and Blanco has responded to the home run with 2 quick outs.
Great strikeout when it was needed. Put a little bit back into Tara Blanco on that arm. Feel a little bit more confident headed back here.
And that'll bring up the number 8 hitter in the order, Alex Kaliva. Kaliva a walk in her last plate appearance. The first pitch, a fastball, misses low and in for ball 1. Kaliva doesn't have a really big strike zone to aim at.
One of the shorter players in the Illinois State lineup, much like Lindsay Montemurano. Doesn't bend as much in that stance, so the strike zone pretty much still waste to letters.
Swings at the 1-0 pitch and pops one up off her hands to second base. Canfield doesn't have to move a step. She settles under it and makes the catch to end the inning. but not until after the Redbirds tally 2 on the strength of an Alyssa Weeble 2-run home run to left field, where the Florida Gators roster is currently sitting and watching the game. And so, in the end, the Wolverines did win the inning. They won it 3-2. They didn't win it 3-0. It wasn't the vintage shutdown inning that would be ideal for this team, but at the same time, they're still sitting 1 run better than they were heading into the 4th inning.
Was it Spike Albrecht who had the win the game sign in the Michigan basketball
I think that
huddle?
was Mitch McGarry.
Mitch McGarry.
Mitch McGarry in his coaching role.
Should get one of those for the softball team in the dugout. Just the big whiteboard that says win the game.
Yeah, I'm sure that would catch on given, how many of the softball team members listen to us.
Exactly, right?
I mean, they've got to have a radio down there in the dugout, no?
Got to go home at night and think, you know what, I just got to hear what Mo and JP had to say about the game today.
I'm sure that's the case. Feldy back out there in the circle for the Illinois State Redbirds. 4 innings pitched so far, 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. 3 of them coming on the strength of Courtney Richardson's bomb to left field.
It'll be 2-3-4 for the Wolverines in this one. Ramirez headed out to get it underway. As always, feel free to interact with us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Feel free to toss us a follow. Sauce us one if you'd like. Subscribe on the YouTube channel.
What's the difference between toss and sauce other than an S instead of a T?
Loving hockey, I bring a little hockey jargon to it, a little saucer pass, a little sauce.
I don't think hockey could be any more out of place in this weather.
Yeah, well, there you go.
First pitch from Feldy on the way to Abby Ramirez. It ducks low out of the zone for ball 1. If not for Natalie Peters and Courtney Richardson's heroics, Abby Ramirez would be the start of the day for the Wolverines. Had a fine day at the plate, fine game at the plate last game, and is 2 for 2 in this one. Swings at the second pitch, chops it over to second. Little slow start to the inning for me, and is a slow start to the inning for the Wolverines. A ground out, 4-3 on the scorebook for Abby Ramirez.
Kelly Christner going to come back to the plate again. Still looking for that first real big moment for the senior lefty here for the Wolverines.
An open stance. She stands toward the front of the box. The first pitch, a breaking ball that dips down below the zone for ball 1. Feldy starting off just like she started off to Ramirez, behind in the count after a low curveball. I guess a drop ball would be more appropriate terminology. Christner 0 for 1. The 1-0 pitch on its way. Fastball misses off the plate inside for ball 1. And we hadn't seen any home runs in the first 10 innings of softball that we watched.
There you go, back to back.
Yeah, maybe now they've got it going. The 2-0 on its way, swinging a soft ground ball on 2 hops to short. Fielded by Strandgard, she fires over to first and retires Kelly Christner for the second out of the inning.
Nope, just didn't get the timing right on that one. Also fought that off on the inside of the bat, near in on the hands.
That's going to bring up Taro Blanco, and kind of interesting for the Wolverines. The 3 and 4 spots, the spots with the most experience, have been the least productive ones on the day from an offensive point of view. The first pitch on its way to Blanco from Feldy, a fastball, a called strike on the outside corner just below the belt.
And Tara Blanco again can help her cause after giving up the 2-run home run, still holding on to a 4-2 lead.
The 0-1 pitch, a fastball that goes a little too far outside, strays from the zone. The count moves to 1-1 on Tara Blanco, who is 0 for 2 on the game today. Infield and outfield straightaway. The infield shaded back on Blanco, especially Kaliva at second base. The 1-1 is a breaking ball sliced down the right field line. It 1 hops up against the fence, but is fouled by about 7 feet.
The wind helped push that one over from left to right. Had a little bit of natural bend on it, but pretty foul looking from the moment it went off of her bat. Had a good piece of it, just needed to straighten it out a bit more, and it would have been all the way back at the wall.
1-2 the count on Tara Blanco as Kaliva, the second baseman, is shaded slightly up the middle, but only a couple steps shy of the grass. The 1-2 on its way. Hard breaking ball ducks low for ball 2. 2-2 the count. 2 outs, nobody on for Tara Blanco in the top of the 5th. The Wolverines lead 4-2 over the Redbirds. Blanco looking to help add to that. The 2-2 pitch swung on and tapped up the middle. Kaliva ranging to her right. A diving try. It ricochets off her glove and into center field. It's going to be a 2-out single for Tara Blanco. And Kaliva, while she was shaded slightly up the middle, just couldn't get there in time.
Close to a few very nice plays in the field for Illinois State today. That was almost another diving stop. No telling if there would have been a clear play at first, but Tara Blanco keeps the inning going for the Wolverines and opens it up for Taylor Swearingen.
And I'm a little surprised we're not seeing a pinch runner for her. Swearingen takes the first pitch, a fastball, misses high for ball one. Not that Blanco is necessarily slow on the base pass. She's a terrific athlete, but oftentimes, especially when she's a pitcher, Coach Hutchins will be willing to go to the bench. Swearingen swings at the 1-0 and loops it foul down the left field line.
Yeah, it is a pretty common Nikki Wald kind of situation here, an Olivia Rishvalsky kind of moment, but
I think Rishvalsky graduated.
She did, yeah. I'm just,
okay.
in terms of last season, who you would normally see at this point.
For sure. Can't forget Mary Sabonik either.
Sabonik as well.
The 1-1, a fastball that starts low, stays low and inside. Swearingen picks up her feet out of the way. The count moves to 2-1.
Like we said, we're still in that sample sizes moment, so we don't really know who that clear-cut group of pinch runners will be for the Wolverines. Obviously, Wald is in there, but remains to be seen. And at this point, maybe an interesting difference in that not going for a pinch runner, period.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of the freshmen assume those roles. Thais Gonzalez, Maddie Uden, Haley Hoganrod. They're potential go-tos. Swearingen swings, hits one with a ton of English off the end of the bat, fielded by Kaliva, just shy of first base, flips it over for the final out of the inning. And that'll do it for the Wolverines in the top half of the fifth. They head to the bottom half. 2.5 innings to go. They're protecting a 2-run lead. 4-2 they lead the Redbirds here at USF Stadium in sunny Tampa, Florida. Sunny, and the wind has died down just a little bit. We've settled into really nice weather. Harder and harder to complain from my vantage point up in this booth.
That is true.
So we think it will be Tara Blanco out there in the circle to start this inning. Thus far, no one has come out there for the Wolverines. Our view of the Wolverines bullpen is obstructed by a series of pillars. So we don't know if Leah Crockett has been getting loose at all. And it looks like it will be Tara Blanco still out in the circle for the Wolverines. Puts on that wristband, that Nike wristband.
Yeah. Got the good products these days.
And she has done well. She's done well enough. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Not the dominant performance that Betza put forth, but you can't really expect that, especially against an improved squad in the Redbirds.
Right, with the way that Illinois State's been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if this team does very well this season. I mean, if you look at how they performed last night against a team that was voted number 25 in the country in South Florida, and how they played so far today against a team that was voted number 6 in the country in Michigan, this is a team that looks like they can hold their own with the best of them.
I think we're really going to see the proving of that next game, see if they can,
how they do against Florida.
Even make contact against the buzzsaw that is their rotation.
The best pitching staff in the country in terms of statistics.
Oh, I am excited, Jeremy. If there are any seats, I'm going to grab them right behind the plate, and I am going to just sit back and admire Ocasio, Gurley, Barnhill, and Chronister if she sees any run.
Yep, we're going to scout it out for tomorrow's game at 12:30.
Riley Hale, the lefty, hitting in the 9 spot for the Redbirds, will lead things off here to start the bottom of the 5th. Blanco winds, the first pitch on its way, and it's a fastball just off the plate away. That one came in about knee-high. Hale wisely let it go by. Struck out to end the 2nd inning. Blanco the pitch, Hale skies one, shallow left center. Moving over to camp under it and make the catch is Courtney Richardson. A can of corn or a can of maize, as we call it on our CBN broadcasts. 1 up, 1 down, and the top of the order comes up now in Shannon Feldy.
Good communication out there in the outfield. Obviously a new group working together with Kelly Christner and Courtney Richardson. Good job of calling off Christner and Richardson hauling it in.
First pitch to Feldy, the leadoff hitter, is a fastball that misses high and outside for ball 1.
Just another one of those small dynamics that's changing this season for the Wolverines. Not just at the plate, but out in the field as well. A lot of changes across the board, a lot of fluidity in this lineup early on.
The 1-0, fastball inside. Blanco has missed on either side of the plate to start this at-bat, and the count is 2-0 on Shannon Feldy.
Feldy can help her own cause. She's down just 2 runs, and she'll most likely head back to the circle in the top of the 6th.
Blanco winds the 2-0, swinging a rocket back to the screen. Feldy close to barreling that one up. Didn't take a big swing, but you don't necessarily need a big swing when the ball's coming in with the velocity that Tara Blanco is putting on it. 2-1 the count. Nobody on, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. The pitch to Feldy, swung on, popped up shallow right center. Christner slipped as she got into her break, but it's the right fielder coming over to make the catch, Natalie Peters. And I think Christner would have had that with relative ease, but fortunately it was tailing over toward Peters. It was an easy play for her anyway, and she made the catch.
Yeah, maybe just a bit of a trip as she was tracking that one over there.
It's not the same turf as Alumni. You know, they got real dirt here, or at least that's how it looks. That's going to bring up Annie Heineman. First pitch, a breaking ball in there for a called strike. Good location there from Blanco. Switching it up, she's gone pretty fastball heavy. 0-1 the count on Annie Heineman. The pitch, fastball misses low and away for ball 1.
Heineman still looking for her first hit of the weekend. Hitless in yesterday's game against the Florida Bulls, South Florida Bulls, I should say.
Montemurano way in over at third base. The 1-1 breaking ball misses low, gets by Subcheck back to the screen, but no harm done as nobody is on base.
I still find that so weird that this stadium doesn't have a true backstop. Just the netting that is anchored down to the ground and the dirt right in front of it.
I think it makes for better viewing as a whole. You know, the fans who are really down close to the action can get a great view. The 2-0 pitch is skied down the right field line. Peters ranging onto the warning track, about 10 steps short of the foul line, makes the catch to end the inning. It's an easy 1-2-3 job for Tara Blanco against the 9-1-2 hitters in the order. She'll be facing the meat of the Redbirds lineup in the bottom of the 6th, but before then the Wolverines look to tack on a couple more and extend this lead. 4-2 your score, we head to the top of the 6th.
Yeah, and Blanco really could have used that, obviously, after giving up the 2-run shot in the inning before that, coming right back with a good, strong performance. That's a sign of experience, I think, or at least comfort, if nothing else, because obviously the experience is nowhere near some of the likes of Megan Betsa, but looking very much in her element in that half inning in a bit tighter of a situation.
Savvy stuff from Tara Blanco. She's, you know, pounding the strike zone. She's forcing contact, and you know, you don't need to record the strikeouts. You don't need to do it all yourself, and I think that is the right approach for Blanco. She has stopped allowing the walks that had plagued her and eventually came back to bite her with the Weeble home run. And I think if she continues this for the rest of the game, things will be looking up for the Wolverines, but obviously you don't want to be one base runner away from a tie game, and the Wolverines offense needs to get into gear against Feldy, whom they've seen a few times through the order now.
Mo, you know what? We haven't gotten to the beach yet.
Well, you know, it's just an Uber right away.
Yeah, that's true.
It's also pretty chilly to go, you know, swimming.
Oh, I'd go in. Keep an eye out on Sunday after that 9 a.m. game. If we've got time before we have to get to the airport to get back to Detroit, might take a dip.
We shall see. Alex Subcheck looking to dip into Shannon Feldy's confidence. How's that for a segue? The first pitch, a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike 1.
I can dig that.
Subcheck on the game, 1 for 2. The 0-1, a breaking ball, misses low for ball 1. And Feldy really utilizing that, I guess, drop ball, but when it goes as slow as it does out of a lot of pitchers that Michigan faces hands, it just can't have the same kind of devastating cut that it does from Megan Betsa. The 2-1 pitch fastball misses high and outside for ball 2. Sorry, the 1-1 pitch misses for ball 2.
Subcheck trying to keep up on the offensive side as she has with the defensive side. 2 attempted steals, caught both of them behind the dish.
The 2-1, a breaking ball that bounces in front of the dish. The count moves to 3-1 on Subcheck. A leadoff walk would be just what the doctor ordered for the Wolverines, as their offensive star on the day, Courtney Richardson, waiting in the hole. The 3-1 on the way. Fastball called strike at the belt. Looked to be maybe a bit inside. Subcheck shaking her head, but the count moves to 3-2.
Yeah, close call, held there for an extra beat by De Los Reyes behind the plate, and the late call coming.
The full count pitch, swing and a miss. Subcheck down on strikes. Feldy reached back for something extra and blew the fastball by her.
Good job by Feldy there to come back in that one on a 3-1 count and beat out Alex Subcheck.
That's going to bring up Lindsay Montemurano. A mostly quiet day so far for the Michigan. They're 0 for 1 today with a walk. Swings at the first pitch at her eyes and fouls it back to the screen.
Monty's big thing at Media Day was having fun. Really taking this senior ride in stride, not letting the stresses of the game get to her too much, and just enjoy her last opportunity to be a Michigan Wolverine. In her 4th go-around, working it hard.
The 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball, hard breaking ball, misses off the plate away for ball 1. The count 1-1. The infield shaded slightly toward the right side on Montemurano. In about 5 steps down at third base is Alyssa Wiebel, slightly off the line. The 1-1 breaking ball misses low for ball 2. Good eye for Montemurano. She's always been good at being patient, waiting for that ball to get deep in the zone before whipping her hands through and cranking a line drive somewhere. 2-1, nobody out, nobody on, 1 out. The pitch on the way, fastball lined back up the middle on 1 hop to Strandgard, ranges to her left, fields, and fires to first for the 2nd out of the inning. Good contact from the barrel of Lindsay Montemurano, but unfortunately for her, Strandgard was in the area.
Yeah, she lined that one up well, and that's all you can hope to do is just continue to put good pressure on that ball.
That's going to bring up Courtney Richardson. Swings and misses on a slow breaking ball to start the at-bat. And you can understand why Feldy would show some trepidation after Richardson's 3-run home run broke the game open for the Wolverines back in the top of the 4th.
Beat Richardson at just 52 miles an hour on that looper.
The 0-1, another breaking ball, this one low and out of the zone. Richardson did not offer at it. The count moves to 1-1.
Well, the harder she throws the ball, the harder Richardson can hit it. So maybe taking something off and giving her around 50-mile-an-hour breaking balls is a solution.
The 1-1, fastball. Called strike on the outside corner, delayed call from the home plate umpire, but that was good location from Shannon Feldy, who was 1 strike or 1 swing away from a 1-2-3 inning. Feldy gets the sign, delivers quickly. The 1-2, a breaking ball. Richardson.
She kind of looked like she was going to stretch over the plate there to reach out for it, but thought better of it.
Yeah, it would have been a desperation hack to try to spoil the pitch. You got to protect the plate, but within reason. And fortunately, Richardson held up. The 2-2 on its way, swinging a line drive just over the Illinois State dugout. It actually ricocheted off the screen, off a step in the dugout, and back onto the field. The count remains 2-2 as Richardson chased that one up out of the zone.
Keeping it close, anything within reason, as you said, and that was close enough to deserve a hack.
2-2, 2 outs. Feldy delivers, swinging a line drive right at the second baseman, Kaliva. She bends to her knees and makes the catch out of the air, and that'll do it for the Wolverines in the top of the 6th inning. A couple of really hard-hit balls off the bats of Montemurano and Richardson respectively, but nothing doing for the Wolverines as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Michigan leading the Redbirds 4-2. It's a lead they've had since the first inning. Well, at least they've had a lead since the first inning. They haven't trailed yet this season, but it is close, and the Redbirds looking to claw their way back into this one.
Yeah, they played a good game so far, and a lot of game left to be played, but they are down to just 6 outs remaining to make up that 2-run deficit. Confidence at the plate will be key for Illinois State as they continue to head out there. They have laced up a few times on Tara Blanco. They know she is mortal and that they can tee it up if they need to.
And this is the inning to do it for the Illinois State Redbirds. Riley Strandgard, the middle of the order, the 3-hitter leading things off. She ended up scoring on Alyssa Wiebel's 2-run shot. Wiebel has looked great at the plate. She is hitting third this inning, so what are the keys here for Blanco to get through this unscathed?
Well, I think Blanco has shown balls so far in this game. She's left a few of them right out over the plate, and those are the ones that have really been taken hard. A couple of her breakers have also hung over the zone. But for the most part, everything that she's thrown hard has found its target, just making sure that you're not leaving it in the easiest place for these Illinois State hitters to get at you. She does throw it with some extra velocity, and that leads to the ball getting a bit more pop off the bat immediately as well. So just starting to work those zones, paint the corners, something that Megan Betza does so well. Speed is one thing, but that positioning will be key.
The wind has picked up yet again as Riley Strandgard steps into the righty batter's box. The first pitch on its way from Blanco is a fastball low and in for ball one.
Strandgard, can't be said enough, was the biggest offensive producer for the Redbirds last season, and this is her time to shine right now in a 2-run game. Start something.
Wide athletic stance in the box, holds the bat out in front, pulls it back. The 1-0 pitch dips under her hands and inside for ball two. The count 2-0 on Riley Strandgard, who is 1 for 2 on the game today. Strandgard bends at the knees toward the back of the batter's box. She is far away from the plate. The 2-0 on its way, swinging a tapper over toward third. Fielded on the short hop by Lindsay Montemano, and she fires over to Swearingen for the first out of the inning. A potentially very tricky hop, but Lindsay Montemano made it look easy down at the hot corner.
And one big threat in Strandgard eliminated. Danger still looming.
On a 2-0 pitch, and Monty is all smiles down there at third base.
Monty hasn't been that busy today, so would love to get some action.
That brings up Jordan De Los Reyes. I got it right this time. First pitch from Blanco, a breaking ball, pulled the string. De Los Reyes cuts through it for strike one. Yeah, you know, Monty, it was a tough play. If you sit back on that one, it's still a tough hop to deal with. To her credit, she attacked the ball, had soft hands, really nice stuff. The 0-1 fastball, called strike on the outside corner above the knees of De Los Reyes.
Like we said, that's a well-located pitch. It's on the edge. It's a good called strike, but nothing too easy to hit for De Los Reyes. The perfect kind of pitch that Tara Blanco needs to continue to execute.
The 0-2 on its way. Fastball, called strike 3 for Tara Blanco. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and De Los Reyes takes a seat.
And that is danger number 2 averted. And now Alyssa Wiebel, who took Blanco deep in her last at-bat for 2 runs, is at the plate.
Yeah, you know, the situation went from about 8 to about 5 danger softballs here out of 10.
There we are.
First pitch to Alyssa Wiebel, breaking ball, called strike at the belt. Tara Blanco got bailed out after getting behind in the count 2-0 on Strandgard. Strandgard grounded out weakly, and ever since she's been dialed in this inning. Blanco gets set, gets the sign, delivers, swing and a miss. Wiebel cuts right under a fastball, chest high.
Blanco went to Vegas. She's dealing right now. Continuing to blow by batters.
The count 0-2. Blanco gets the sign. She winds. Pitch on the way. Swing and a pop-up. Behind short. It's going to be a tough play for Ramirez. Christner calls her off, charges in from center field, and makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tara Blanco against the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the Illinois State lineup, and the Wolverines 3 outs away from taking home both games of their opening day.
Last chance here in the top of the 7th for the Wolverines to tack on to what is right now a 4-2 lead. Just a reminder that this is the 1 10-day period a year where WCBN does raise funds to keep its station functioning. So just a quick reminder that we are in station fundraiser season. If you'd like to donate to WCBN and WCBN Sports, call in at 734-763-3500. 734-763-3500. Tax deductible, always a plus. And you help Morris and I continue our journeys with this Michigan softball team.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to be where we are now offering the coverage that we do now if not for fundraisers and for, you know, donators like you listeners.
That's a great way to think of it. The only coverage of Michigan softball this weekend, yours truly and Mo. And the only way that we're here is based off of donations like that. So it can be as small as a penny, which is probably what I'm able to donate at this point in my young collegiate life. It can be as big as $1 million. We would love that.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. We'll name a broadcast after you. Heck, we'll just name the station after you.
Hey, tweet at us if you donate. We will make tomorrow's Florida broadcast the Your Name Memorial broadcast.
Well, memorial indicates death.
Does it?
Is that going to be a hazard of donation?
Well, then we'll drop the memorial off the tag there.
I appreciate that. First batter will be Faith Canfield. She swings and rockets the first pitch down the third base line. A sliding stop for Melissa Weeble, who has had a sensational game. She makes the play over at first base.
Weeble killing it in all facets. Had the big home run, made a couple very nice stops, almost had the Web Gem play of the weekend over at third.
Yeah, unfortunately, Riley Phipps couldn't handle the throw at first base. That'll bring up Natalie Peters. 1 pitch, 1 up, and 1 down for Shannon Feldy, who has really settled in nicely for the Redbirds. Peters an open stance. Stands back from the plate, swings and chops it on 1 hop back to Feldy. She fields and flips to first. It's 2 up, 2 down on 2 pitches for the Wolverines in the top half of the 7th. Not really giving Tara Blanco much time to relax.
Can't tell if this Wolverines team is maybe just a bit tired from playing 2 back-to-back games, but they're swinging early in a lot of counts, maybe looking to get out of here a little early. I'm not sure, but not a lot of plate patience at this point. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we've had a long day, too. The first pitch, a breaking ball, misses low for Abby Ramirez. And, you know, we did wonder whether or not they'd start to falter down the stretch of these games. They haven't done much offensively, but fortunately Blanco has been dialed in. The 1-0 breaking ball just misses to Abby Ramirez, the senior. The count moves to 2-0. Ramirez 2 for 2 to start the game, made an out in her last plate appearance. Grounded out to the second baseman, Kaliva. The 2-0 on its way to Abby Ramirez. She swings and taps it foul. Just on the first base side to the backstop. The count moves to 2-1. Ramirez is a slap hitter, not a ton of pop in that bat. I don't think she had any home runs last season, but 2 years ago she had 2 home runs in 1 series against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. The 2-1 ripped back up the middle. It's a 2-out knock for Abby Ramirez. She is hitting 3 for 4 on the day, and that sets up Kelly Christner for a pretty big opportunity. You think Hutch puts Ramirez in motion here, Jeremy?
That's a good question. At this point, I would say no. Just because of the fact that Kelly Christner hasn't really made a ton of contact, and the contact she's made hasn't been great. The odds of that ball making it into the glove of De Los Reyes and a throw down to second are good.
First pitch fastball misses off the plate inside for ball 1. I'm going to have to disagree with you here, Jeremy. I think Hutch wants 1 more run to get scratched across, and moving Ramirez into scoring position might be the way to do it.
Well, we'll see what you dial up here on a 1-0.
The 1-0 pitch on the way, breaking ball misses low for ball 2. The count moves to 2-0, and I think it's also pretty count dependent. You know, at 2-0, you don't want to take the bat out of your star hitter's hands. And if Kelly Christner sees a good pitch here, it could be an opportunity for her to break out of her mini slump that she has been on today.
Yep, just trying to end this opening day of the Wilson DeMarini tournament with a positive at-bat.
Tara Blanco awaits on deck. The 2-0 on the way. Fastball misses high and outside. The count moves to 3-0. And Christner's going to be taking all the way. No doubt in my mind here.
That I can guarantee. Maybe not so much, or maybe even more than a 3-1, obviously.
I've been surprised in the past, though. The 3-0 fastball splits the plate for strike 1.
I think the only player I ever saw swing on 3-0 was Sierra Romero, and rightfully so.
Did she get a hit?
I don't believe so. I think it was fouled off, something along those lines, if I remember correctly.
The 3-1 fastball misses off the plate inside, and Christner draws a 5-pitch walk. That's going to bring up Tara Blanco, and these are dangerous waters for Shannon Feldy.
And that is going to draw out Coach Fisher for the Illinois State Redbirds. Have a quick conversation with Feldy. She looks like she's going to leave her in.
Looks like Tina Kramos or Megan Warner. Honestly, I don't know the difference between the assistant coaches, but one of the assistant coaches out to talk to the pitcher-catcher battery while Fisher talks to the rest of the infielders.
Yep. And they head back to the dugout with no changes made, just some positive affirmations. Still is just a 2-run game, but with 2 runners on, they need that final out to cap off the top of the 7th here with no damage done.
Blanco, a ground ball single up the middle in her last at-bat. Broken 0 first start to the season. Now 2 on, 2 out, a chance to help her cause. The first pitch from Feldy, a breaking ball, misses low in the dirt.
Well, you can't hit a home run if the ball's in the dirt. I don't think it works in terms of physics.
I think Vlad Guerrero might tell you otherwise.
Did he really?
Probably.
At some point.
He'd at least try. The 1-0 on its way. Swing and a fly ball to center field. That one tracking toward the warning track, but catching it there will be Anna Heineman, the center fielder. Off the bat, it looked to have a really nice trajectory from Tara Blanco, but she just missed it.
It's an alumni homer.
Maybe.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. It would be at least closer to the wall there. Either way, the Wolverines rally dies with 2 on. 2 runners left on base. They take a 4-2 lead here into the bottom of the 7th inning. And it's going to be Tara Blanco's game to win against the bottom of the Illinois State lineup. It'll be Riley Phipps, Caitlin Daly, and Alex Kaliva, followed by Riley Hale if there are no pinch hitters sent to the plate here.
And she has been really good, I think, so far today. Just the really one big mistake, that 2-run home run. 6 innings pitched so far, 3 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts. Has done a very good job overall, I'd say, in her first big appearance as the second half of the rotation for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and you know, she's had to overcome a couple of mistakes by her defense. You know, Abby Ramirez letting one go off her glove at short, Kelly Christner letting one go off her glove in center fielder. They're mistakes from players you wouldn't expect to, you know, flub in these kinds of situations, in any situations really. But Blanco's been able to overcome it. The team as a whole has put themselves in a position to win, and you know, that's what you like to see. Blanco has not given up a base runner over the past 2 innings. And you know, this whole team wants to get out of here with a very quiet 7th inning. We'll see if the Redbirds will oblige. Riley Phipps, the righty, leading things off. She is 0 for 2 on the game. The 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Redbirds, 0 for 7 combined, the only base runner being Alex Kaliva, who reached via walk. Blanco winds, the first pitch. Fastball off the plate inside for ball 1 to Riley Phipps. Blanco's found plenty of success with the fastball today. She'll need to continue locating it well. The nerves have got to be as high as they've been all game. The 1-0 on its way. Fastball misses high. Out of the zone, the count moves to 2-0.
Close to that bottom of the order here for Illinois State, 6, 7, 8, Phipps, Daly, and Kaliva. Trying to keep it going here with 2 runs separating them from Michigan.
The 2-0 fastball. That one, a called strike at the knees on the inside corner. Really delayed call by the home plate umpire. Looked good to me, though. The count moves to 2-1. Michigan's infield in at the corners, the outfield in a bit of a no doubles look, it appears. Maybe just straight away. The 2-1 on the way. Fastball called strike on the inside corner above the knees. About thigh high there from Blanco. She evens the count at 2-2. The sun starting to set a little, but still beaming over USF Softball Stadium as the 2-2 pitch is cut on and missed. It's a strikeout for Tara Blanco. She went with the high heat, and Riley Phipps could not keep up. And that's going to bring up Caitlin Daly, it appears. Daly, the left fielder, made a highlight defensive play, cutting down a runner at the plate, but it looks like that's going to be the extent of her contributions to her team this game, as we are going to see a pinch hitter.
As soon as we figure out who that is, we will let you know as they come out of the Illinois State dugout and out towards the batter's box.
And that strikeout number 6 on the game for Tara Blanco, which is 1 for every day of the week if you exclude one of them.
That's, you know, good caveat right there.
I mean, you're 14 for for bets, so that was pretty bad too. I felt like I had to match that.
Pinch hitter is Allison Spence, the 5'9" sophomore.
First pitch, a fastball to the left. He misses off the plate away for ball 1.
Out of Beecher, Illinois. Spence played in yesterday's game, went 1 for 4. Had a strikeout.
Stands nearly all the way at the chalk at the back of the batter's box on that left-hand side. The 1-0 pitch, a breaking ball, misses high for ball 2. Blanco gives herself a smile, knows she needs to buckle down. The infield shifted ever so slightly toward the pole field on Spence. The 2-0. Fastball just misses inside, and Blanco behind in the count, 3-0. Don't want to give any free passes here. The top of the lineup is lurking for the Redbirds if Blanco gets into any trouble. The 3-0 on the way. Fastball called strike, splits the plate. Right down Broadway there from Blanco. Spence taken all the way.
See how she treats this 3-1 pitch here. Little bit of wiggle room to put a runner on, but not much.
The 3-1 swing and a tapper foul behind home plate. Pretty long swing there from Allison Spence, who doesn't have a lot going on with her stance. Her weight about evenly distributed between front and back feet. Rests the bat on her shoulder before lifting it parallel to the ground as she waits for the pitch to come in.
Gonna get a cleaning of the dish while Alex Subcheck adjusts her catcher's mask.
A wide stance, ever so slightly open as the tension builds. 3-2 the count, nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. The pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball foul down the first baseline, and unlike Michigan assistant coach Bonnie Thole, the assistant coach for the Redbirds steps out of the way of the slow roller. Lame, not fundamentally sound.
Bonnie Thole for first base coach of the year.
At least first base coach of the game, I'd say. 3-2 again. Blanco rocks back, delivers, swinging a tapper foul. Spence keeping this at-bat alive, wasting pitches on the inner half from Tara Blanco.
Doing a good job of protecting the plate at the very least. Working this into an extended at-bat.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Tara Blanco.
Blow her away, Tara.
Blanco takes a deep breath, shrugs the shoulders, twists, delivers. The 3-2 pitch, fastball misses just off the plate.
Maybe a bit high as well.
Maybe a bit outside. And Spence reaches first base with a 1-out walk. And we're gonna see an instant pinch runner off the bench.
It's like coming into pinch run for the Redbirds. As soon as I can get a number off the back, I can tell you. Not immediately clear.
We'll find out one way or another. Alex Kaliva, the righty, steps to the plate. The second baseman is 0 for 1 with a walk today.
No double plays turned yet today for the Wolverines. One right here would end the game.
Blanco gonna have to regather herself. A walk is the last thing she needed to do. But it happened. She's got to adjust now. The first pitch to Kaliva, a fastball, caught a lot of the plate. Kaliva taking all the way for strike 1. The infield in double play depth, slightly in at the corners. The batter at the plate, the one that matters. The Wolverines can afford to give up 1 run. The 0-1 on its way. Breaking ball, ducks under the top of the strike zone, called strike 2 on the outer half.
That's one of the best pitches Tara Blanco has thrown today. Pinch running over at first is number 8, Corey Mesker.
The 0-2 on its way, swing and a miss. Kaliva down on strikes, chased it out of the zone. Outside half of the plate, off the outside half, I should say. Came in with a 67-mile-per-hour fastball on the gun. And now 2 outs. The tying run for the Redbirds at the plate. Riley Hale appears ready to step up, but it remains to be seen whether she's going to be the one to take the at-bat.
Conversation with both Coach Melinda Fisher and one of the assistants.
And Hale herself.
And Hale.
Alex Subcheck, the catcher, slowly ambles out to the circle. In the conference is the entire infield, save for Lindsay Montemurano, who will choose to stay in her zone. Her vision locked in on Hale to hit her, sending all the bad vibes she can. Runner on first, 2 outs. The top of the lineup in Shannon Feldy waits on deck for the Redbirds. Blanco looks in, gets the sign from Subcheck. Hale holds the bat out in front of her, pulls it back. The first pitch, a breaking ball right down Broadway for a called strike 1.
Michigan trying to close out the first day of the Wilson D. Marini tournament at 2-0. Won their first game against the Delaware Blue Hens 7-0. 4-2 lead with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th.
The 0-1 fastball just misses there, probably a little bit high. A very close pitch though from Blanco, and she's wondering where it missed. Now shaking her head, she's really obviously displeased with that call.
There's been a few of those pitches so far this afternoon that Tara Blanco has been a bit uneasy about.
Hale to lefty awaits. The 1-1 pitch misses in the dirt. Check swing, but she did not go around. The count moves to 2-1 on the 9-hitter Riley Hale. 0 for 2 on the day. The crowd really getting into it on the Michigan side of things. The 2-1 pitch on its way from Blanco. Fastball, that one, a called strike on the outside corner. Blanco found her spot, and the count goes to 2-2.
One more strike for Tara Blanco to close out her first win of the season.
The Illinois State fan contingent largely silent and hopeful. 2-2, 2 outs, runner on first. Pitch on the way from Blanco, swinging a line drive, just foul down the third base line and barely out of the reach of Lindsay Montemarano.
Would have been quite the play to end the game had Monty been able to grab that one, but just escaping her glove down the third base line, and Hale stays alive.
Looked like Monty might have been walking a little gingerly after that one, but I think she was just, the adrenaline's pumping at this point. It's been so long without softball that these players, I'm sure, just want to win this one so eagerly. 2-2 yet again. We'll do this again. Blanco looks in, gets the sign from Subcheck. She winds and delivers. Swinging a pop-up foul. That one's going to make its way out of play off of the screen, and it'll roll back slowly down onto the field.
That was, I think, the most dramatic call you've had all day, is the foul roll off the net.
I mean, I want to give a little more credit to my home run calls, but you're not wrong, JP. 2-2, the count remains. The 7th pitch of the at-bat coming in from Blanco. She winds, delivers, swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Riley Hale, and Tara Blanco has herself a complete game victory. The Wolverines are going to take this one from the Redbirds 4-2, and they go undefeated on their opening day.
How about that from Tara Blanco? What a good job in the circle. Really, again, just the one mistake, the 2-run home run to Weeble. Went 7 full, just 3 hits. And she limits the Redbirds to 2 runs. Michigan takes it by a score of 4-2. And there's no rest for the wicked. Illinois State's going to have to get right back at it against the best pitching staff in the country in the Florida Gators.
A great game from Tara Blanco. She she went with the drop ball at the end. She was working so well with
a lot of fastballs early.
But that breaking ball, really a strikeout pitch for her today. She got it done. The Wolverines win largely on the strength on offense of a Courtney Richardson 3-run bomb. And they will continue things tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. against the number 4 team in the country, the Florida Gators. JP, any final thoughts on the day?
It wasn't the prettiest game that I've ever seen Michigan softball play, but they came out of the weekend with 2 wins. The Delaware game 7-0, right here 4-2. Pretty good start for these Wolverines in maize and blue, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the call at 12:30 against the number 4 Florida Gators.
Yep, information about that broadcast will largely be distributed in the same fashion as before. You can catch it on WCBN Sports' YouTube channel, on WCBNsports.org. Be sure to stay tuned on Twitter. But we'll be back soon.
We're going to watch Florida here up against Illinois State, and then we're going to Chili's.
Had to get that in, didn't you?
Had to.
All right, thank you all of you who have tuned in. It's really been a pleasure broadcasting for you today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, we'll leave you with a good night and a Go Blue.